Hey guys, did you know that the Squire shield is less than 2 divines now? So yeah, it's kind of perfect time to use Squire shield for something, and I haven't done Arakaali's Fang in quite a long time, so I thought yeah, it's a good time to do it. But to make it more interesting, something that I haven't done before, I went with the Chaos Inoculation. And on top of that, I just added viscous color. Maybe it helps, maybe not. The other new thing is I'm using 2 new Spectres. One is the big spider that is supposed to add flat damage to minions. Quite a bit of it, and also give me a wither effect, but I'm not applying wither, my minions are, so it's pointless. And then the turtle essentially gives me determination and a bit more mitigation. Now those specters actually only one of them died ever, but I made this just to farm maps, not really for big bosses. It has like 17 million DPS, poison DPS per second. It does take a bit to ramp up that damage, but tier 16 guardians like drop dead very quickly. However, I think I will never play Arakaali's build ever again, or at least not this year. From my memory, I think it used to work better, but now summoning spiders is just so inconsistent and annoying. I am using Breathing Jar as always to summon worms that you kill, and then that's how you proc the on kill effect. I'm using Divine Ire. People were suggesting Divine Ire in the past. I think I used like a Cold Snap or Vortex, something like that. I'm essentially holding Divine Ire to channel. It does the spark thing around me, so it hits very rapidly, and then I just click the flask. It throws out worm, immediately kills it, and I also have cast while charring Desecrate, low level because there's no reason to have it high level, to summon corpses because it needs corpses. So you need 10 corpses to summon 20 spiders. The problem is the corpses need to be close to where the worm comes out. Because if the worm comes out behind you and you are throwing corpses ahead and you kill that worm, you kind of don't summon any spiders. So sometimes I would summon no spiders, other times I would only summon 2 spiders, and after using flask 2 times, sometimes I would still end up with like 14 spiders only. So it was just so infuriating and annoying that I could not control how many spiders I summoned without adding extra buttons to click. Because I wanted to keep this like a simple farming build. You just run through maps, explode with the Occultist explosions. By the way, I'm using Temporal Chain and Despair only for bossing, but Temporal Chain with the Hex Bloom is just so nice. Chain explosions just happen so much. And also explosion count as your kill, so if there are corpses, if you create corpses while fighting, you don't even need to use a Breathing Jar. It just explodes enemies, kills them, and if there are corpses, it will count as your kill, and you will summon those spiders automatically. However, you have to wait for them to expire. They are immortal. You have to wait for them to expire in order to resummon them, and you cannot refresh. So sometimes while mapping you would run next to an enemy pack to convocate your minions, and then boom, they just expire immediately, and then you are in danger because enemies are attacking you and you don't have much mitigation. So this build doesn't really have much mitigation. I do have the turtle gives quite a bit of mitigation. This is Chaos Inoculation, so I'm like completely immune to Chaos damage and to poison. I also have the Mastery, 10% physical damage from hits taken as Chaos, so that's just completely mitigating. I also was experimenting with the body armor. I wanted to actually get big ES regen by stacking charms and then using the beast for body armor, which gives up to 100% increased energy shield recovery rate, which affects everything that is ES per second, including ES recharge, ES recoup, leech, and regen. So I was using that, and I was getting over 2000 ES regen per second after 10 enemy kills, but it was also making me take the 10% increased damage. So I later switched to the Fenumus Shroud, which does give enemies deal 10% reduced damage. I'm also using Aspect of the Spider. This also has a bit of regen, but also nearby enemies have -10 all res, including heals. So it does give me tankiness and damage. In fact, I didn't even get the final charm. I don't even have the anointment. I didn't feel like I need to, and I wasn't sure if I'm gonna be replacing viscous colors or not. And I'm still not sure if it's helping or not. It should help against magic and normal enemies. You would still get more and better loot because you do still empower normal and magic monsters sometimes. But the biggest drops are still from rares, and this would do nothing for rares. And like I said, I'm missing 1 charm. And I'm not sure if going for the regen charms are a good idea or not. Although I only have 1 of regen charms. The other ones, capping resistances was a bit a challenge. So I'm using 1 charm that gives all LRS, and also minions gain added physical damage equal to 10% of your maximum energy shield on your helmet. So the helmet, I actually don't have very good helmet, but it still gives a bit of damage. Normally you would want like very beefy yes helmet. The other charm is for while there are at least 5 nearby allies, you are nearby allies, have onslaught. I just pretty much just have onslaught all the time. I am missing one class because I am using the traitor keystone. The main reason why I got it was to get a bit more dexterity and also to get 10% movement speed. That's it. Pretty much. And obviously fast sustain is nice, but it's not really all that needed. Now if you look at the POB, I added custom modifiers for what Spectres grant. So like the turtle gives me physical damage reduction, then the flat armor and more armor from determination. It doesn't actually show up. Wait, now it shows up in here. Huh, okay, it shows up in here. So I'm actually getting almost 5k armor. And the perfect spider, it does give minions this amount of flat chaos damage, but it actually doesn't give all that much DPS. Well, actually it is losing 1.9 million DPS, so it is giving a bit of damage. Usually for Arakaali's builds, you don't get any minion tankiness because all you need is spiders and then just get as much damage as possible because we are immortal. And I could also still add Animate Guardian, but for this, to keep those Spectres more alive, I did pick up some minion tankiness. So I did pick up this one because chaos damage can be scary for minions, especially degen. A bit of regen here, a bit of life here and there. But those Spectres are not really dying. Obviously if I would juice up maps more, they would be. And again, this is not really a build guide that I would recommend. Yeah, a typical Woolfio's build. My videos are mostly just like almost like a diary, like a build diary. What builds I was doing, and just maybe some of the ideas will inspire someone else to use something else, but maybe not the full build. But like Arakaali's builds can be very tanky and can have a lot of damage, and this can be tweaked a lot more. Like you can actually use a proper amulet and better defenses. I'm not even using steel skin. I would need more strength, or I would have to use lower level steel skin on left click. I am using frost shield. I mean I have frost shield, but I pretty much never use it, or when I want to use it I usually misclick and just use another despair. The main reason why I didn't really fine tune this more is I just kind of hate this build now. I think I will never use Arakaali's build again until they either rework or make it more consistent summoning those spiders in some way. But Breathing Jar is kind of annoying. So yeah, I will leave path of building import code in the description for this. There's not much else to say. I was using Purity of Elements instead of Malevolence while leveling to have immunity to freeze and shock. I am immune to shock right now because of the jewels, chance to avoid being shocked, and also Pantheon Power, chance to avoid being frozen. Now for the Breathing Jar flash generation, you can just use this one solo free slaughter. If you haven't used the flash in 4 seconds, you're gonna start getting free charges every 3 seconds, which is quite a long time if you waste those charges and you're waiting and panicking. That's why I pretty much added the Balbala, the traitor keystone. The Spectres, I linked Spectres with Feeding Frenzy just to have the Feeding Frenzy buff, minion life and meat shield. And like I said, we are not really dying, but I am using level 21 Spectres, 21 gem. The helmet is +2 minions to try to raise Spectre level more. You can actually get an extra Spectre, but you need level 25 Spectres. In order to do that, I would have to use +1 amulet and +1 Spectre's level boots, which is gonna be expensive. Because right now my Spectres are level 23, so I just need 2 more levels. I could get +2 on a amulet, but that would be very expensive. And I think for the Fate Spectre I would add Oak, just to keep our Spectres alive more. I believe I don't have it right now. But essentially it uses Vitality Aura, uses Enduring Cry and Immortal Call, and also shares Endurance Charges. So it would make everyone tanky, including you, but obviously as a CI you wouldn't benefit from Vitality, just Endurance Charges. But I think it should keep your other minions alive a lot more, and then maybe you could add Animate Guardian, add something, give it Kingmaker to make everyone even tankier, and something else, maybe a bit more damage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. For the next build I will most likely be doing Void Span, Detonate Dead of Chain Reaction, Saboteur. So it will have many procs. Not sure how everything is gonna come together because the mana cost is gonna be like almost 1000 mana or ES per second, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna manage that. I think it may actually work pretty well. For clear speed I think it should be fine, but we'll see how that is. But for now, thank you for watching, have a happy new year, and I will see you I guess next year, depending on when you watch this. Bye bye.